Hello everyone, and welcome to my Days of Our Lives Today channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. According to the Monday, July 17, Days of Our Lives spoilers, Whitley King spoke with Kayla Johnson about leaving her job and moving to Arizona. When Whitley acted as though things had just changed with the passing of Abe Carver, Kayla found it strange. Whitley's refusal to discuss her exit package and behave as though she could figure it out on the website increased skepticism. Whitley gave Kayla a quick and grace before leaving, explaining that she was using her vacation time to give her 2-week notice, which left Kayla looking rather perplexed. Rafe Fernandez was concerned to learn that Paulina Price wasn't there when he went to her apartment to supervise the return of Lonnie Grant to prison. In the end, Rafe and Paulina searched the park where Lonnie was last seen but were unsuccessful. Rafe attempted to calm Paulina down as she panicked while making a promise that they would find Lonnie. But because they were too preoccupied with that to look for Avi, Paulina started accusing Rafe of having an affair with Jada Hunter, Elia Canto, which escalated into the most recent turmoil for Lonnie. Paulina panicked and sobbed in Rafe's arms as she worked herself into a tizzy over Lonnie going missing and sabotaging her opportunity for early release. Paulina was brought to the hospital by Rafe, where Kayla examined her and determined that if she calmed down, she would be okay. Rafe accepted Paulina's apology for her earlier remarks, but he was aware of her extreme stress. Rafe allowed the call from Lonnie's Maryland prison to go to voicemail. Rafe lied when he called back, saying Lonnie was present and that the shipment was proceeding. Rafe said to Paulina on Monday's episode of Days that he had bought them some time and hoped it would be sufficient. Lonnie made an effort to convince Avi that she was his daughter and that she needed to get him back to his family at Whitley's house. Due to his amnesia, Avi had trouble understanding what was going on because Whitley had him under a lot of sedation. Lonnie clarified that Paulina was actually Nurse Whitley, and that Avi's wife was not the woman in the altered wedding photograph. Whitley arrived home and confronted Lonnie before she had a chance to get Abe out of there. They engaged in a fight as a result, but Whitley prevailed by drugging Lonnie and making her pass out on the ground. John Black forced open the door to Jerry Prentice Flats so he and Steve Johnson could search the space. It was soon discovered that Jerry had taken his luggage and departed through an open window. Although Steve and John were perplexed by Jerry's participation in Avi's case, they were determined to track him out. They discovered a bus schedule with a list of potential locations after noticing a document stuck in Jerry's printer. On Monday's episode of Duel, Del Brady, Martha Madison, provided Jada with information at the Salem PD regarding Brady Black's choice to sign a custody arrangement that would persuade Kristen Dimera to turn over Rachel Black. Jada was angry that Kristen had used coercion to force Brady to win, and she was certain that Rafe would be too. Jada ultimately accepted responsibility for breaching the rules and was aware that Rafe did the same, despite the fact that she was irate with Sean Brady for damaging Rafe's career. On Monday's Days episode at the Dimera mansion, Kristen yelled at Brady for tearing up the custody agreement and forced him to sign a new one. Brady said he was in charge as he kept John's gun trained on Kristen. Brady argued that he might as well take his ex out right away as he wouldn't let Kristen into Rachel's life. Brady tried to claim he was only afraid when Rachel vanished and that he'd never do anything to harm anyone, but Rachel overheard and was horrified as she rushed into the room. Brady informed Kristen that he would be telling his kid the truth about Rachel's character after making her wait near the door. When Rachel saw Brady insulting Kristen, she told him to stop, but he took her away while she sobbed and yelled for her mother. Later, when Belle arrived to meet Kristen, she discovered Brady had taken her back. Kristen insisted that Brady sign a new contract, while Belle countered that there were penalties for going too far. Brady sent Rachel to her room at the townhouse in Monday's Days program before Jada arrived. Brady pleaded with Jada to take Kristen, but Jada insisted she was there to arrest Brady. When Rachel rushed back outside, she revealed that she was the one who had phoned the police, which caused Brady to believe Kristen was responsible. Don't miss what's in store because Days of Our Lives spoilers indicate that Brady's most recent action will land him in some real hot water. A wonderful opportunity arises from a tragic circumstance. Even though we've pushed it off since John Aniston's death in December, Days of Our Lives will eventually have to say goodbye to the actor and the iconic role he portrayed for decades. Victor Kiriakis. We have a sensation that the farewell is approaching now that we know Philip is returning. Victor has been the man in the background for some time. He is frequently discussed, but is no longer present. Traveling the world, managing his empire, attending to Beau while he was unconscious, and talking to Maggie about Alex's most recent setback. But once he's gone, everything will change. And that might be incredible. We've already seen certain changes, such as Maggie's transformation into a corporate thief and Victor's transformation into a puppeteer. She is once again the star of the show, much to the astonishment of some of her followers. This change for Maggie has been questioned by some people, including Alex, but it would be the ideal chance to explain the change and why she's so determined to stay battling at Titan. We wouldn't want to lose the kind, gentle Maggie we've come to love over the years, but this might make her a more significant part of Titan and increase her appearances on our screens as she pushes herself into the business as it attempts to deal with Victor's loss and live up to his legacy, at least from her perspective. The possibility of growing the Kiriakis family is another. Let's hope Philip stays put since we know he's coming back. As unlikely as it may have seemed, Xander and Chloe's developing relationship has been somewhat of a breath of fresh air, with two adults navigating burgeoning feelings in an open and honest manner, with plenty of fire thrown in for good measure. It won't last, though, not with Sarah carrying their infant. Philip's previous attempt was quite challenging, but he has been away seeking assistance for years. She and Philip could legitimately develop a connection this time with the extent of their links if Chloe and Xander could do so, with nothing more than the fact that he abandoned her for dead in the past. And when Brady eventually decides, screw it, let's cause some havoc with Kristen, that might only push Brady farther into the Demira's arms. But why should the family stop there? Bring Joseph, Justin, and Chelsea back. Give Xander a previously unidentified sibling from Titus who is coming to town to get his share of the action. The Demiras constantly have new members of their extended family appear, all descended from Stefano. There were numerous siblings of Victor who may serve the same purpose. Furthermore, what if Deimos wasn't genuinely deceased? Maybe he was just waiting for Victor to leave so he could make his grand entrance. Sure, the devil brought him back to life, but that could have been a prank to fool the people of Salem. The final of Victor's siblings, he would be working to ensure that he has a long-term place in Salem, Titan, and the Kiriakis family. And that would be somewhat appropriate given that Philip, a character in Jean-Paul Lavoisier, was the one who wrestled with him. Then there are the Demiras, who with Victor's demise could smell blood in the water and hope to swoop in and pick apart Titan, if not just take it over outright. There aren't many people in the community who wouldn't get involved in the impending fight. And Vivian's release from jail and return to aid Stefan in obtaining his share of the empire would be the cherry on top and her final jab at the Kiriakis clan. And once we discuss Victor's foes, we may discuss how he passed away. What if he was murdered instead of dying of old age in the end? It worked with Stefano, but since Victor was, at least in the end, a little more of a murky figure, his killer might not be a decent man. Therefore, Victor's last farewell will indeed mark the tragic end of an era. He belonged to the old school. He and Stefano were once the dominant figures in Salem and the entire world. However, it might also mark a triumphant start for Salem, the Kiriakis family, and Days of Our Lives. Thanks for watching if you like this video. So please don't forget to subscribe my channel and don't miss any update.